Time for some business news now, and I'm joined by Stephen Carroll. Stephen, we're starting in the United States and a looming deadline over the government's borrowing limit.
That's right. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen says the US government will run out of money on October 18th if Congress doesn't act to raise or suspend its borrowing limit. Republican senators on Monday blocked an attempt by Democrats to pass a debt limit increase. Government funding is set to run out on Friday of this week. Janet Yellen says there's only a short window after that before the US would be unable to repay its debts.
Our current estimate is that Treasury will likely exhaust its extraordinary measures by October 18th. At that point, we expect Treasury would be left with very limited resources that would be depleted quickly. America would default for the first time in history. The full faith and credit of the United States would be impaired, and our country would likely face a financial crisis and economic recession as a result.
The concerns over debt and rising inflation caused jitters across the stock markets in the past 24 hours. Wall Street closed down sharply on Tuesday. Today in Asia, we can see those concerns playing out across many of the Asian markets. The Nikkei in Tokyo closing down by 2%, sharp falls too in Shanghai and on the Kospi in Seoul. Just the Hang Seng in Hong Kong turning positive towards the end of its trading day. That's despite new concerns over the troubled Chinese property developer Evergrande, which saw some of its bonds downgraded by Fitch. European shares starting the day, though, with somewhat of a recovery. They too had suffered sharp falls yesterday. Oil companies are in the red at the open, though. That's linked to the fall in oil prices after yesterday's rises.
Meanwhile, Stephen, here in France, new figures show just how badly the hospitality sector was impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic.
The industry lost 237,000 jobs between February 2020 and 2021, according to statistics from the Labour Ministry. That's despite 2/3 of hospitality workers being on the government's furlough scheme at the end of that period. These figures help to explain the massive shortage of staff that hotels, restaurants and bars have experienced since they reopened in May. There are more than 100,000 jobs on offer in the sector currently in France.
Stephen, we're staying in France now, where the shortage of raw materials is hitting industry.
Wood, metal, semiconductor, microchips are all in short supply, and a host of sectors are seeing price rises or even work stoppages as a result. The motor industry has been particularly hard hit, car makers imposing shutdowns of several weeks on various plants, and that's having a knock-on effect on their suppliers, as James Vassina now reports.
It's only the start of the day, and the team leader of this car part factory near Paris has bad news for his colleagues.
Donc la matière est arrivée ce matin, donc hier on n'a pas pu produire.
Global supply shortages mean this plant is running short of plastic and steel. On top of this, prices of raw materials are going up.
Voilà un système de fixation sur lequel on a eu 50% de hausse sur l'acier plat depuis le début de l'année. Alors là, on n'a aucune échappatoire, on est obligé de passer ces hausses aux clients pour pouvoir préserver l'équilibre économique de l'entreprise.
There are problems too for the car manufacturers that this factory supplies. They've been forced to halt production due to a shortage of semiconductor microchips. This means that over 2 months' worth of stock is now gathering dust in this supplier's warehouse, pushing the company to reduce its activity by 25%. The 200 employees have agreed to take 1 day of furlough each week. Some are even using their paid leave during the slowdown.
C'est un petit sacrifice.
Bah oui, mais bon, on n'a pas de choix, il faut faire avec. Hein.
L'objectif, c'est pour la pérennité du site. Aujourd'hui, ce petit sacrifice nous évite derrière de licencier des gens.
A strategy that's working so far, but a €7 million investment has been pushed back to brighter days.
And finally from Stephen, Amazon has unveiled a new home robot, which it says is far more than just Alexa on wheels.
Who wouldn't want a home robot? This robot is called Astro. It has a large screen, a camera. It's even got its own wheels to move around your home. Now, it's powered by the Alexa voice assistant technology. It can patrol your home when you're not there to check on pets, people or security. This is another big move by Amazon into the device space. There are obvious privacy concerns with this too. Amazon says that you can set out-of-bounds zones in your home where Astro can't go, or set the robot to do not disturb. Astro will go on sale in the US later this year, an initial price tag of $1,000. it does raise an awful lot of questions about exactly what you'd use it for. I mean, it's very cute.
It does. I was going to say,
I
it's
can't
very
get over
cute.
that,
I'm
yeah.
still not sure I'd want one. Rather have a cat or a dog. Thank you, Stephen, for that business update. We're going